So this is one of those IKEA Stuva. It's a modular loft bed, and you can do different desks or kind of cabinets there on the side, shelves, whichever. So picked one of these up, and lots of boxes. Got it all. Had to kind of tie it all down into our little Subaru there, but we got it all to fit. So anyway, we went with the kind of a shelf system and then the desk. So it was quite the task to haul all this up our four flights of stairs at our apartment. So put this together in our daughter's room, and so you got these. If you basically just go in numerical order as far as boxes, it's going to be your easiest way to do it. So the first two boxes basically are going to be kind of this end cabinet, and pretty good idea if you want to put all the little bolts and bits and stuff there into a bowl or something. Makes it a lot easier. And you can use the tools they give you to basically assemble it, but I found just using a drill driver and with the bits, I think it's maybe a 4 and a 5 millimeter hex wrench, and then a Phillips head screwdriver bit, and then just you can use a normal flathead. So yeah, it's the first two boxes there. So I found kind of the easiest way. I just laid everything out as they had it in the first picture there, which I guess is like step 2. And you're going to have 10 of these little stud bits there that engage into the little cam lock. So first we're just going to put those in, just how they have them in the picture there. And it makes it easiest if you just lay everything out. You got to look at all the holes and everything, study it, and then lay it out in that order. Makes it a lot easier. But it's easy to get confused, as you'll see later. I make a couple of mistakes later on. But anyway, got all our 10 studs in there. Gonna lay up these two pieces and then put our cam lock in. These little cam locks, you're going to be doing this step quite a bit. So basically, you got a little open end. You'll slip your piece over and you can see the stud end exposed. You'll just put it in, and then basically with the flathead, or I guess you could do it with the Phillips as well. You're just going to turn that thing 180 degrees, and then it's locked into place there. So yeah, we're just locking those in, and this is definitely one of those little build projects as far as IKEA stuff. Most everything I've done it just solo, but this is definitely something where you're going to need some help for sure. So got all these little wooden dowel pins. So I guess basically we're going to be attaching this would be the top side, I guess, of the top, or it could be the bottom. Not sure exactly yet. So some of your bolts there, just kind of a little wood screw, and some are they'll go into a insert of some sort. So we got those just lined up, more wooden dowels, and then kind of holds everything into place, and then some actual wood type screws. So yeah, that's our bottom in there. You can tell because it's got that little secret compartment there in the bottom, or it just kind of raises the bottom end off the ground there a little bit. So we got these set of shelves here. So at this point it's starting to get a little heavy and bulky, so you want to lay it up on that end, more of the little studs there. So you'll put all those in place, and then you just lay the shelves over with the hole basically facing down so you don't see it. More of the little cam locks there to lock it all into place. Pretty simple, straightforward. So there's the little bottom compartment. Got more wooden dowels, and most of the illustrations it says that you don't want to use a hammer to push those in, but I found probably 50 to 70% of the time you're going to need to tap them in gently with just a mallet. I wouldn't go buck wild with an actual hammer, but just kind of like a mallet with a hard plastic end. So we're laying the other side piece on, and got get the cam lock in to get those into place. So Yeah, that's basically once we get all those locked in, we're completed with that in. Looks like a few more screws, and then just tilt it up into position. At this point, this thing's fairly heavy, so yeah, we'll get that positioned, and now we're going to move on to the actual the bed itself. Another little tip I found on these boxes, it's rather than just trying to open them up, if you cut along the edge with a box knife, it's mostly all just cardboard padding there, so it's a lot quicker to just open it up like that. We built this one on the carpeting on the floor, but you can use that cardboard as some padding if you're building it on a hard floor to keep it from getting scratched up and whatnot. And so these pieces, there's no end piece to thread it in, so basically you have to use the little tool they give you. So that was really the only one that I had to use their specific tool. These are some pretty fat, or the bigger dowel pins there, and basically we're just going to be joining these two boards together. This is the end piece of the on the other side of the bed, basically. So you got this weird little cam thing that you had to turn a couple times, so I had to kind of tap it to get it engaged, and you'll want to just go about 90 to 180 degrees kind of back and forth until it's fully locked on. So now we're getting ready to do the two side rails, or the supports for the mattress frame, basically, or the little planks of wood that go in between. So again, just study the pictures. So we're gonna zip all the two little metal rails there to hold the planks, and so what we're going to do here first, I believe, is we're going to put two of the mattress planks, or I guess we got this lower end. We'll lean that up and attach it into place, and it'll kind of hold itself together temporarily. But this one, you got these little cylinder-shaped metal. It's threaded on the inside. A couple more wooden dowels, but we'll drop our little threaded metal inserts in. And just a little tip here, it has a flathead screwdriver to line them up. If you just line them where that's pointing straight at the end of the board there, the direction that the screw goes in, that's going to be the easiest. So just get these started. Don't tighten any one of them all the way until all three of them are that you've got the bolt started into the threaded portion there, and then once they're all there, you can cinch them down. So this is where I made my mistake here, or at least the one I remember. So as you can see, those two mattress support planks, they're going to go on top of the metal piece, not like in the little, or I guess not underneath. They're going to be kind of cradled within that. So I put it on the bottom end here, which I don't know why. I thought just from maybe the illustration this is how it went, but it actually cradles in between there, so it's going to hide, I guess, most of the metal bits there. So basically you're just going to be attaching these two to start with, and that's just to kind of give it some stability, as this is the front side of the bed frame, or the mattress frame there. So basically this is just to give it some rigidity, so when we're going to flip this up and continue to build it once we have it in place there. So get that all bolted together, a couple more wooden dowels, and this is the end cap to the bed that's sitting above the little bookcase portion there. So again, just the little shaft there, the little studs, and then the little cam lock to hold the shelf piece in place. So getting our four dowel rods there. That's just to kind of, once you get it going, it kind of positions it to where you can screw it together. So we're putting the end cap piece here. So far everything's going well. Again, just stick it in, turn it 180 degrees, you're locked on. So we're gonna flip the bed up here on top of that. So again, me and wife helped me get it up on there. And so, once we kind of positioned it, this is where I realized that the planks there that support the mattress they need to go on the other side. And as you can see, that's not wanting to sit down flush all the way, and that's just because those are too far down. I mean, if you look at it logically, that's not going to be the best support. It's going to be better, it's going to be structurally sound like this. So this is after we corrected it. So yeah, those will lay in there like that, and then it'll sit down nice and flush there. And got a couple inserts to put the side supports there to the end cap. We do quite a few of these, really on pretty much all four corners, I believe. And then there's the front plate piece there that covers up to where the ladder hooks on. So I can't remember if that has some threaded inserts in it. So we're doing some wooden dowel pins there. I kind of went back and looked at it, but honestly I can't even remember. Basically we're getting all these in there. And then there's a support piece on the side, and it's basically just more of the same thing, some studs and cam locks. I didn't really get too much of this because the footage was so badly out of focus. So but pretty simple, straightforward. That's the looking at it from the inside. We're putting our two studs, and then we'll just slide the board over a couple cam locks, and then it just threads in through straight through on the other side. That's the other side support there. So wife's holding that in place. There's a couple of the wooden dowels sort of positioning in it as well. So yeah, pretty straightforward. You get that in, get all the bolts to hold all that in, and we're going to put the rest of the planks in, which is pretty straightforward. But the last one's a little tricky because you kind of got to reach there's kind of a male and female nut that holds it onto that metal frame piece there. So you got to just kind of reach up and over and finagle it in there. But yeah, so once you get that done, the bed's essentially complete. So we're going to put the little ladder together there. Quite a few of the wooden dowel pins, and then there's I think every other step there there's a metal screw that holds it in. And these, it says on the directions, not again, not to hammer, but I found these bigger ones I had to pretty much tap most all of them in to get them engaged. Otherwise it's kind of wimbly and you can't get the little the footsteps in very well. So no, that's just what I found on this one. We just kind of put all that together, and then put, like say every other step there's a big long wood screw that kind of holds them together. You kind of have to kind of tap that stuff into place. Once you get the screw going, it really cinches it all down into place there. So, and then there's some little plastic hand holes there, little covers I guess, that go on the top section there. Just kind of a little something to grab onto as you're getting near the top. So you don't want to they'll just pop into each other. I had to kind of really pull them, kind of slap them into place there against each other to lock in. So yeah, now we're ready to just position the ladder. There's two cam locks there on the one side, and then the two long wood screw type things on this side, and then there's a couple more on the back side or actually four, that two on the top and two on the bottom, where you go in through the shelf area that locks it, pulls it into place. And the more of the items that you're putting on here, the more it just strengthens and adds rigidity to the overall assembly there. You know, like I say, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can put shelves on the other side, and that's what we chose to do. I think we got 5, and we only actually used 2 or 3 of them, I think, just because they were spaced out so far. And then so that's completed after a few days. I didn't do anything with the desk. I do have another video that I'll add a link to up at the top of the video screen, which is it was one of the Malm dressers. So it's essentially the exact way that the little drawers in that desk goes in. And so yeah, that's basically it. Worked out really well. There's the other shelves there, which those are just there's little pins, 2 on each side, and then the shelf just sits down on top of it. So anyway, hopefully if you're putting one of these together, you found the video helpful. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, click the bell. I've got plenty of furniture and IKEA assembly videos. So yeah, thanks for watching.